Welcome back to the Lace 'em Up podcast. My name is David Hartman, aka Davidedo Designs. As always, your host for the show. Today, we're going to have a very special guest on. She has had the opportunity to play as a collegiate athlete, is looking forward now to moving into the medical field, has had a great opportunity to work with some professional athletes doing customs for them as well. Today's guest is Zoe. Zoe, say what's up to the people.
Listen, you want custom shoes? That's gonna take some bucks. Whatever you have for the price, go ahead and raise them up. Better get your spot now for what's taken up. When it's all said and done, my guy, lace them up. Come on, lace them up.
Hello, people.
Awesome. So first, let's start with this. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, a little bit of background about you.
All right, my name is Zoe Ruff. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. Nothing too exciting. I played collegiate basketball actually at Trinidad State, where David's from, or where he's residing right now. But did that, and then I'm working on trying to become a physician assistant and using the shoe customizing kind of as a secondary income and just a way to express myself artistically, which has always been something that is important to me, and going into mainstream career paths is a little scary. So I'm glad that I have this outlet and the ability to kind of bring, people's ideas to life and give myself the ability to kind of have an outlet aside from the medical field, which is kind of scary.
Great. So it sounds like this is a side business. But in that, how are you balancing trying to go to school in this very, very heavy environment, and then also stay on top of customizing, because the time that's put into just one shoe is ridiculous.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I'm still in the process of applying to school. So right now I'm actually submitting all of my master's applications. So the shoes have kind of I had to put a little bit aside and not take as many orders on, as well as juggling a couple other things. Like, I have worked with the Phoenix Mercury for 3 seasons now, and we're working together again this season, and it's been kind of back and forth with them trying to figure out what works best. And luckily we have this break because of the Olympics, which has been a relief for me because I've been able to finish all of my academic things in waiting for those shoes to come in, because as soon as those shoes come in, it's 13 pairs of shoes for the Phoenix Mercury, which like I said, I've worked with them a couple of times in the past, so I'm not super worried about it, but still 13 pairs of sneakers that they need by the end of their season. So that's been a little delayed, which has given me a little bit of anxiety, but we're doing all right. And
Okay.
Like I said, been able to do everything else before then.
Cool. So what has that experience been like, being able to work with them? And then for you, just on a personal level, like playing collegiate basketball and being able to work with professionals in that same field, but in kind of a different medium, like what has that been like for you?
Yeah, it's actually been really cool. I linked up with them a couple years ago with a mutual friend who I went to high school with, and he was part of their social interactions like group there, and it's definitely different. A lot of them, a couple of them are women who I looked up to while I was playing basketball, so getting to just first meet them in general was super exciting, and then getting to create something that they're proud of and that I'm proud of and they get to wear on the court is awesome, because who doesn't want custom basketball sneakers when they're playing? They have all those colorful colors, but these women come up with super cool ideas. Last year it was the bubble, and we did a lot of the stuff with centered around the Black Lives Matter, and a lot of their customs were rooted in George Floyd, the Black Lives Matter. We did a lot of those, and that was really important, especially given the time. And a lot of those women wanted to express themselves that way. they can't necessarily, like, they wore it on their jerseys and stuff, but it was another platform for them to use their voice, and in being the WNBA and having the voices that they have, us being able to represent that was really important to them, and it was important to me because that gives meaning to the art that we're creating, and that's really cool and important.
Right. That's dope. So, what got you into customizing? Like, what got you into saying, I'm, instead of putting my art on a canvas, I'm going to put it on a shoe? Like, what did that come from for you?
Yeah, I mean, when I was in high school and middle school, I would doodle like every middle schooler does, and I would take the Sharpies and draw on my Converse or my Vans or whatever. And then as I went into college, I played college basketball. I didn't really do as much with it. But when I got done with it and realized that I still wanted art to be a huge part of my life, and having that basketball background and the sports background and whatnot, and also, like, it's kind of funny, but obviously I'm white, right? And I don't rock a pair of Jordans like a lot of people do. So getting to kind of customize them for other people and getting to see them rock something that I'm like, I think I would look so cool, but an Air Jordan 1 silhouette just does not look as good on me as it does other people. So
I think it depends on the outfit. I think it totally depends on the outfit.
I don't think I can rock it, but I really don't. Like, I have such an appreciation for shoes and silhouettes and stuff, and I think they're awesome, but I am a very basic person when it comes to my sneakers, but I like to create something incredible that you can't just pull off the shelf, which I don't know, I think it's fun and exciting.
Right, right. So what would you say is your favorite shoe personally? And then what is your favorite shoe to work on as far as like a canvas?
Oh, I really like Jordan 6s, but I haven't customized any of them. I think it'd be really fun. In turn, like, I just like the silhouette and all of the different sections on them. For customizing, I think that Air Force Ones are an awesome color block and whatnot. A lot of the stuff that I do is actually on canvas. Like, a lot of the stuff I do are on Vans or Converse, but I enjoy doing the leather ones as well. I feel like all of my really awesome ones are on like Converse or something like that.
Okay.
And I've done quite a few pairs of basketball shoes this year, and those textures are just getting more and more difficult to work with. Did a pair of PG3s, and I thought I was gonna cry the entire time. Every little flap and whatnot. Those are super challenging, but the end result is always way better than the concept in my head. So I love that.
Right. So speaking of concept and like from a design perspective, like, what would you say is your process? I know for me, like, I do everything on the computer first and kind of lay everything out and have to see it. And kind of going through these, I'm seeing that everybody has their own like little niche or little thing that they do differently. So how would you say yours is?
Yeah, I really think that when people get shoes with me, I want it to be an entire experience, and I want them to have just as much say in the shoe as I do. And like I said, I don't know how other people do it, but I like to go back and forth with the client or the customer and make sure whatever it is that we're creating is exactly what they want. So I usually talk to them for quite a while, usually on Instagram or email or whatever, and just get an idea of what they want. And then I'm like, okay, cool, I think I have the idea in my head. So I'll pull up Photoshop and pull out the silhouette of the sneaker that they want, and I'll throw together a couple of things, and I'll shoot it back to them and be like, hey, how does this look? And I'm like, remember, like, it's not my sneaker. Like, I can create my own sneakers however I want. So anything you want changed, like, say it now or forever hold your peace, Yeah. So I'm like, say it now. What do you want different? Do you want more words? Do you want less words? Do you want a different color? Do you want this, that, or the other thing? And I'd say probably like 50% of the time they're like, oh, do you think that we can change this? I'm like, absolutely. Like, let's throw it in. Let's do mock-up number 2. So I'm definitely not trying to like bust out as many customs as I possibly can, because that's not my goal. My goal is to give someone something that they are super proud of and they cannot get literally anywhere else. So I definitely take the time to make sure that everything is done. I make an awesome mock-up in Photoshop. I send it to them, make sure everything, all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. And as soon as they give me the go, I'm like, I will not even lay paint on the shoe until you say this is exactly how you want it. And when I get that green light, then I'm going ham on a pair of shoes, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. So definitely more of a collaborative style with whoever's making the purchase from you.
Yeah, I don't have any like pre-designed things. Everything I do is made to order. Like I said, it's all about that experience to me. And I do little things on the shoes and the boxes and stuff. Like when I'm done with the boxes, I'll either paint up the box a little bit special, but I always include a custom tag. Like, you know, on the shoe boxes, it has whatever the model is, and I'll always include whatever I named the shoes and the person's name and a whole bunch of other little details that make it super unique to them. And I know that a lot of people, I mean, I keep all of my shoe boxes because that's how sneakerheads are, you know, they keep everything, but some people aren't. And I just hope that as I make this whole, you know, it's an art piece and everything is cohesive. And I think that everybody keeps those things because, you know, it has their names on it and it has something unique and special to them. So I make sure I do that and include that in everything that I'm doing, which I think everybody likes it. So,
so give me a story. You're talking about like collaborating with different people to make shoes, right? Give me a story about like a shoe that has a story that impacted you or maybe impacted the person that you were working with.
Okay. Yeah. A couple of years ago, it was after I did the first set with the Mercury, a female basketball player from Belgium. Her name is Julie Van Loo. She reached out to me and she wanted to get a couple of sneakers done. She was living in Australia at the time, and she really wanted a pair of shoes to represent, like, you know, the femininity and all of that stuff. And we spent a lot of time, that was before I was even using Photoshop. So I hand drew all of the mock-ups for her and played around with a couple of different designs and made sure that, you know, the things that she wanted to include in were important to her. I'm actually going to pull them up and look at them really quick. They were, first of all, they were insanely cool. I was like obsessed with them. I wanted to keep them. I feel like that happens, you know, all the time. I finish a pair of shoes and I'm like, why do I have to give these up? I want to keep them. Like, you can't have them. They're mine now. Let me see. Yeah, so she was like super into the equality and wanted to include, she had her own little brand and wanted to include some of the things on the backs of them. And we just spent like, it probably took like a month to just get the image done. And I sent them to Australia. She wore them for a couple of games, and she even ended up like raffling them off, and they raised a bunch of money for, I think it was when the fires were happening in Australia. So she raffled them off, and after spending all this time, and she loved the sneakers, and she even decided to like do something even bigger and better with them, which I was so excited and ecstatic that people wanted these shoes that she wore, and I got to collaborate on them, and they had everything she wanted. And yeah, it was really awesome experience. And I love working with her, and they turned out really awesome.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. So, who would you say is like the most influential or famous person that you've been able to do a pair of shoes for?
Oh, Diana Taurasi. Like, I've done hands down. First of all, she's the GOAT, and I was so nervous because I did. Like I said, this is my third season working with them, but the first season I was so nervous, and she got the shoes to us so late and I was so like just so nervous. I was like, oh my god, I hope Diana Taurasi likes the sneakers I make for her. Like she has to like them. And those ones are one of my favorite too, is when they did their Women of Inspiration night with the Mercury. And it's just got two powerful female on the back tabs and some quotes. And we incorporated her Argentinian nationality and the United States as well. And those just turned out really awesome. And I got to go to the game that they wore them at, and I got to go meet all of the players afterward. And they're all fantastic and wonderful people. But I was just so happy that I was able to do right by her. And it was funny when she opened the box, they had filmed it to put it in one of their media things. And she was saying that she usually gives away all of her sneakers at the end of the game or whatever. And she pulls them out of the box and she's like, I might have to keep this pair. And like, that's just a huge, compliment to me. Cause it's like, if she's given everyone her shoes, like given away all of her shoes, and she wants to keep the pair that I spent the time on and made really special for her. It was really fun and cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've done Brittany Griner's were fun too. Like I said, last year's, all of those were really important. Lots of social injustice concepts and stuff. Those were all super powerful and awesome. Yeah, super fun, super cool.
Dope.
I can't even, I'm just waiting for the Excel document with the ideas they come up with this year. And I'm just like refreshing my email, waiting for that to happen.
They'll sounds like they'll be coming soon.
Yeah.
So we talked a little bit about like some of the like different shoes that probably like inspired you or inspired the person. One of my questions, and this one is a little difficult, is give me your top 5 customs that you've done.
My top 5. Well, hold on. Let me pull up my Instagram really quick. I have like object permanent issues. If I can't see it, I'm like, I don't remember even doing those. Just kidding. I do, but I don't want to miss my favorite one and be like, dang, I wish I would have said that one. Ooh, okay. I think over the last year I've really grown and kind of just been a little bit more experimental and pushing my own boundaries that I thought I had for myself. So you said top 5?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think I did a pair, the X Factor, one of the ladies, her name is Jane. She's really close to a lot of the staff in Phoenix. She actually surprised Diana Taurasi and her wife with some shoes for their son. And that was a really awesome collab I did about a year ago. It's got a bunch of different colors and they were really tiny and they were super cute. And that experience was really fun too. So I think that's one of my top ones. I did, like I said, the ones I did for Diana Taurasi, it's got Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Evita Perón. They had portraits on the back, which was super challenging. Not only that, but they're on LeBron's. Like LeBron's have that I think they were LeBron 11s. They have that lion embossed on the back. So there's a portrait on top of that, which Ooh. I was like, it needs to go here because everything else is canvas and it won't turn out good. But the way they turned out, I could not have even expected that result. Like I said, those ones were the ones for her Women of Inspiration night. Those ones are top 5 for me, easy. I did the ones for Brianna Turner last year with all of the Black Voters Matter and Black Lives Matter. They were, oh my gosh, why can't I'm having I can't remember right now. Oh, they're Air Maxes, and it's the gold to black colorway, and we made them super specific to her, and she wanted them to kind of look like the protest signs on the sneaker, which, if you know how Air Maxes are, there's a bunch of different layers. So that was really challenging, but the way they turned out, I was so ecstatic, and just the message that it had in the time it had. Not that, you know, these things aren't relevant now, but they were super important for last year during all of those protests. And that pair of shoes was super challenging, and I was really, really happy with the result. Another pair is the ones I did last year for Alana Smith with the Phoenix Mercury. She's from Australia. She was an Australian, and she wanted Aboriginal art on a pair of Air Force Ones. And she actually had a family friend who's an artist, an Aboriginal artist, basically kind of drew up, or he painted it, I think, in Photoshop, and it had a bunch of meaning about just Aboriginal history, and it's a bunch of dot work. And I was able to take that image and recreate it on the pair of shoes, and there's probably like 10,000 little dots on there. And yeah, that's one of my favorites. It's incredible. I think that's probably one of my, that's like probably my top one. I just think it's super cool. The idea, the concept, the completion, like, I'm obsessed with them. Like, if I could have kept those ones, I would have. And I, like, that's not even my history, you know, but they were super cool. And then, I've just been trying to work a little bit more this year on improving some of my detail work. I am doing a lot more hand painting things, where before I was a little bit nervous. There's also a pair that are my top favorite, but they're not posted yet, so those ones come out soon. I'm collaborating with a film producer. His name is Isaac Easley, and he used to do the Phoenix Suns videos and stuff, and he's doing independent work now. And we did a service swap, and so I customized these really awesome anime shoes for him, and he's doing an incredible video for them, and we're just swapping some artistic skills. And so I'm really excited for those ones, because those ones, I had them for about a year, not working on them for a year, but I had them for about a year. And I'm really proud of them, because when I started them, even just like my progress from starting them to completing them over the year, whether it was like, working on it one day and then taking a 2-month break because I was busy or whatever, I can see my own personal growth in that pair of shoes. And when I finished them and I put them in the box, I was like, this is incredible, because it basically shows how much I've grown as an artist over the last year. Because when I started them, you could see some of my lines are a little bit shakier. And then by the end of it, I'm like pulling a line, and it's exactly the way I wanted to. Where when I first started them, I was a little bit nervous. It was just after I started working a little bit more with the leather paints and stuff. So I was really nervous to start, make sure the prep was all ready and good. And now since then, I've done probably hundreds of other pairs. And so I'm really excited for that one to drop, and maybe to be able to post things about it, because I've like been holding on to a video for months that I want to post. But that one's top tier, just because I spent so much time on them, and he's an incredible artist as well. Yeah,
that's dope. So earlier you mentioned like being a sneakerhead and having appreciation for sneakers. Like, where did that come from? Where did you kind of fall in love with sneakers, and what shoe led you down that lane, and is there a story behind it?
Yeah, I think it's just from being around basketball all of my life. There's a ton of sneakerheads in basketball culture. And I think that as I continued to play and I created relationships with my teammates and friends, like, I just continued my appreciation for those sneakers as well. It's also like playing basketball. Like, a lot of the iconic silhouettes are actually like started as basketball shoes, as like now they're a little bit more casual, like Air Jordan 1s. Those are, you know, Jordan, his first release or whatever. And then like Chuck Taylors, those used to be basketball shoes. They're not anymore, right? You break your ankle in them now. But I think it's just how those two things kind of go hand in hand. I don't think I have, I mean, I'm a classic slip-on Vans kind of gal. So I think like for myself, that's the pair of shoes. Like if I go anywhere, I usually pick up a pair of slip-ons. I probably have like 20 pairs. But yeah, I don't wear much anything else except for slip-on Vans, which is kind of funny. Everyone always gives me crap for it. Like I paint on shoes all day long, and they're like, oh my gosh, like what shoes have you painted for yourself recently? And I'm like, what? Like I wear my checkered Vans. Like what are you talking about? But I do have a couple pairs that I've done for myself, but I'm definitely a classic slip-on gal. But yeah, I think it's mostly just the basketball and how basketball culture and sneaker culture are kind of intertwined. And, you know, as long as Nike and Jordan keep on putting out really awesome silhouettes, I don't think that's going to stop anytime soon.
Yeah. Or they just keep putting out like Jordan 1s. And
seriously, in different colorways.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. All this reselling's gonna kick my butt, though. I can't get my hands on a pair of anythings right now.
Yeah, no, that's been rough. I've had some difficulty there myself.
Yeah,
as well too. So
even just getting your hands on like the pair of Air Force Ones in the size like 10 has been such a pain in the butt for me recently.
Yeah. What would you say your style is? Like if you had to define your style, what would you say that it is?
I think that it is evolving. I think that I'm still trying to kind of figure out where I fit in like my own art. There's a lot of ideas I have in my head that, you know, they haven't come to life yet. They haven't been able to be created. But right now I'm just kind of going with the flow. And like I said, I'm trying to create exactly what somebody wants. And I feel like I've done a lot of landscapes lately, which is awesome because Bob Ross is like the OG. And like I think I've done like 3 or 4 in the last couple months. And he's super inspiring too. So I think that I like that, the natural kind of things. It's kind of not really what people usually put on shoes, but I'm glad a couple of people have gotten them. So I think I'm pretty good at that. And there's a lot of things up in my head that I want to create that are more specific to me, instead of, you know, just trying to get by. I think customizing, you can get kind of wrapped up in it because there's a lot of people doing a lot of things and a lot of them are similar. And it's really hard to break the mold where it's just, you know, the color blocking or the fad of today, what's popular right now. And I'm not particularly fond of a lot of the things that are being mass produced. So I don't usually do, like, I don't do a lot of like the hype beast stuff. I've never really done. I've done a couple of them for like very specific people, but I don't get as much return for just like spitting out these things over and over again. I don't think it's who I am as an artist. And I mean, other people do it. So like if someone wants that, I'm like, I don't really do that. Go get it from them. They're really good at it. I'm not so much. So I think I'm just trying to figure out what it is that makes me unique as an artist and then as a shoe customizer, because those two things are similar but different.
Right.
But yeah, I'm excited because, like I said, I just continue to improve day by day. So I'm excited to see what the next 6 months holds and what the next year holds, and if I can start moving into some of these concepts that I would like to see how they turn out.
Right. Dope. So I got an interesting question for you. Um, if you could paint a shoe for anybody, dead or alive, who would it be? What would be the shoe? And what would be the concept art?
Oh, that's a crazy question. I think I would want to paint a pair of shoes for Prince, and they would obviously be some platforms. I can just imagine something wild and crazy, like one of his outfits, something sparkly and purple, maybe some gold in there, like some really cool platform leather boots or something with like a really intricate intertwined design around the shoe. I think he'd be awesome to have rock a pair of your shoes, and I think that'd be really fun. Now I'm like thinking in my head, like maybe I have to go get a pair of platforms really quick
and make them, right, so we can see what they look like.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, dope. Why Prince?
Oh my gosh, because he's iconic. Like, he is a household name. He create an incredible artist. Just, I don't know. We grew up listening to all of his music. I listen to a lot of his music while I'm painting and have it on in the background. And just his ability to change and evolve and keep up with all of the changes in the music industry. I think that he's an incredible artist, and it's unfortunate that we don't have him on this planet anymore.
Yeah, true, definitely. Wow, man, that was interesting. Now I kind of want to see those shoes, right?
Yeah, well, if you're in the market for a pair of platform high leather boots, I got you, man.
Like, let me know.
Yeah.
That's funny. Awesome.
I think you'd rock them too. I think you'd rock them.
I would see broken ankles in my future if I put those on. That would not be good.
Probably same.
Yeah, that would not be good. So I'm calling this podcast the Lace 'em Up podcast because for me, I feel like the first thing that we do as shoe customizers is take the shoestrings out, and then the final result is putting shoestrings back in. It may not be the same ones, but that's kind of your opportunity to step back and take a look at the shoe, right? It's kind of the wrap up of the whole experience from a customizer standpoint. So I got 2 questions for you. The first question is actually 3 questions. What's now and what's next for you? And then also, how can people get in touch with you? Where can they find you?
Okay, yeah. Right now, I am working on these beaters. No, I'm just... no, right now I'm just, trying to wrap up all of the current orders I have, and excited to work with the Mercury for the 3rd time. And yeah, just continue to evolve as an artist. I think next, I'm going to try to make things a little more niche for myself, and continue not to separate, but to kind of divide from, just the same thing being on everybody's feed. I want to put out something that's a little bit different, and there's a lot of customizers who already have this, and they already have, their iconic, when you look at the art, who did it, and I want something kind of like that. I think it's tough and it's going to take a lot of transitioning, but I want someone to be able to look at a pair of sneakers that I did or something that I worked on and be like, yeah, like we know that was Zoe, that was Ruff Customs. And that's like my ultimate goal for myself, is to just do that. And I think just continuing to build, because I don't think that I see, sneakers and painting going away out of my life anytime soon. I always want that to be something here, and I don't anticipate getting any smaller, only bigger. And then in terms of finding me on Instagram and Twitter, it's at Ruff Customs, RUFF, and then the word customs. I have a website. It's www.ruffcustom.com. You drop the S because someone has already owned that domain. And yeah, those are the only 2 places I usually respond to. My Instagram has got most of my portfolio on it, and I'm working on building up the other couple of social medias. I'm not not very good at social media posting. It's not one of my biggest strengths. So I'm definitely working on getting those bigger. Yeah, I'm terrible at TikTok. Don't even, but definitely trying all those things. But those two places are usually where I'll respond the best. And yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely what the social media part is definitely a struggle, especially when you're a one-man band. Trying to do everything. So yeah, I definitely hear that. So who would you say should be the next person on the podcast, and would you be willing to help them get them on?
Oh, I don't know if you know Art. He is awesome. It's Art by Art. His name is Art, and he does art, obviously. He's a shoe customizer. I think he's super dope. We've been in a couple of chats together, and he's super supportive. He makes incredible stuff as well. But yeah, like I would love to see him on here. And I already saw some of the lineup for, you already have quite a few people who are well known, and I would have recommended them as well. They're all incredible artists, and I'm excited to see who else you have on there. But I'm going to tell Art to link up with you, man, because this is exciting. And I think that as a community, we should be trying to uplift each other instead of compete with each other, because I think everybody is putting out incredible artwork, and the culture is awesome. So I think it's more of a building each other and supporting each other at this point.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. Last thing, I always like to leave the audience with a tip. So give us one tip for a new customizer or somebody who's starting to customize shoes. Give them one tip to go off of.
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely take the time to tape off. Like, I think I spend more time taping than I do painting. And every time that I spend the proper time, I mean, obviously do all your other prep, but I think taping off for me is something that when it's late at night and I'm like, oh my God, I just want to start painting, and I'll skip a corner or something. As soon as I peel off whatever I'm doing, there's always residue. So take the time to tape off. Like, I promise you, it is worth it. Tape off those sock liners, tape off your edges, and paint your edges. Like, if the leather was that color before, paint your edges, make it look crispy, make it look clean. Those are the differences in a good custom and a great custom is going that extra mile and not skipping any corners or anything like that. So tape them off and paint your edges.
Awesome. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. I definitely appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. And I'm super stoked to be a part of this podcast and hear all the incredible artists that you have on now and that you'll have on in the future.
There you have it, folks. There's been another episode of the Lace 'em Up podcast. Thank you, Zoe, for joining us today. All of her information will be down in the description box. Go and follow her, support her, purchase anything from her that she has going on. Just support the community. Thank you again for listening. If you have not done so, please remember to subscribe to this channel. Remember, every 2 weeks we'll be dropping a new podcast. This is also available on Anchor. Okay, this is also available on Anchor. So if you want to listen to the podcast there, you can do so as well. Thank you again for tuning in. Until next time.
Listen, it takes wisdom to grab these sneakers and spin them. Cut a couple of linen and match them up with the denim called Davidedo. He'll cook it up like a kilo and have your Air Ones appropriate with the stilo. He's no Lilo, but he's mean with the stitch.